Hey everyone, welcome back. Let's get into the Tuesday action in the association. We have two games coming to you guys live. The first one as we look into the Cleveland Cavaliers hosting the Indiana Pacers, looking to avenge that game one loss. We'll talk about that game. I'll break down the side total and a couple of the props that I will be getting into. Also, let's get into kind of the second leg within Golden State and the Minnesota Timberwolves hosting the Warriors after that devastating loss they dealt the Houston Rockets. And quite frankly, I don't know how that happened. You got to kind of trust your guns on that. A lot of people had Houston to advance, but it's hard to bet against Steph, albeit he did kind of have a poor showing there in the first half of that game. But that's something where you do look at the history of the postseason, and a lot of those young players for the Rockets, I know they're a very strong team, very, very, very intense kind of game that we did see, but the Warriors did prevail. Houston shot unbearingly bad from the field. And that's kind of what we saw in Game 7 in that matchup. But I think everything will change as they travel and take on the Timberwolves. I'll break down that game as well. But let's get right into it. If you are new to the channel, thanks for finding me. Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us at TBM Sports. And let's get into these matchups, okay? The first thing that we want to look at is kind of where the money's headed early on. Indiana and Cleveland. You can see the Pacers here, plus 340. Very, very enticing. If you do think that potentially with Garland having kind of his injury woes, if you do look into that, possibly being an issue, I don't think, quite frankly, it's going to matter. The one thing I will tell you guys, the Cavaliers did not fare extremely well against the Pacers throughout the course of the regular season. 3-2 ATS. That's something very, very important. I know everything does change in the postseason. I know that the Cavaliers will be desperate, but it's not anything where I'm going to be just jumping to the window, albeit the handle is seemingly looking to favor the Cavaliers -9. It's not something I'm going to get, excited to go bet that, right? The Cavs by 10, it just does not look like after that Game 1 performance, that's going to be something anywhere close to what we're going to get in Game 2, okay? That's just kind of my take. I think the Pacers have the momentum. I think the Cavaliers have a matchup problem against the Pacers. They did not stop the ball when they needed to, right? So bringing the ball up the court, you got to really stop the ball, and I think that created a lot of opportunities there in the front court for the Pacers, and just quite frankly, it just was a bad matchup, right? Garland was out. Mitchell played, what Mitchell does, and that's something that I think that could continue into Game 2, and that's going to be the prop that everybody does look at, right? Will kind of Donovan Mitchell go off? Will he get 30? We'll look at that as well. But at first glance, the three ways that I would approach this game from a side and total, I think there's a lot of value taking the Pacers at plus 340. And I try to be as objective as I can. The Cavs are the better team. They had the outstanding regular season record. You can see the hat I'm wearing. I am a Cleveland fan, but I do think that plus 340, after the game we saw in Game 1, that is a very attractive option, okay? Also, I do favor the total, 229, if you do want to bet that. I think that the best way that you could approach this game, if you think the Cavaliers are going to win, I would not take them at the -9 price. I would look into the Cavaliers team total, and that's what I'm going to show you guys right now on your screen. Courtesy of Outlier, we'll find that best number available, and that's where you can look into Cavaliers team total. It's a very high number, okay? It's a very high number. Just basically math on this one, right? If the Cavs win, the projected total in this game being at 229 with a point spread of 10, that's going to put the Cavaliers like -119 points, and the Pacers at like a 109.5. That's probably how I would handicap it if I was going to put out a number. And that's kind of where you see it right now on the board, -110 at 119.5 on DK. And that's where I would lean. I think that the Cavs cover the 9. They're going to get 120 up against the Pacers. And I think this number does go over the total, regardless of who is the victor. Okay, that's how I handicap it. That is my kind of way I would approach it. Also, if you are a value better, what better not way to get a plus 340 number there if you want the Pacers on the money line. I know it's kind of a hard bet to swallow, betting against the Cavaliers at home in a must-win game. You don't want to go down 0-2 before going on the road against a team that you did struggle against, okay? But I think the physicality of this game is something that is very, very much the storyline looking at the Cavaliers-Pacers matchup, okay? But my best bets in this game, we are going to have a teaser going on with both of the games tomorrow, but I do want to talk about some of the props I do like. The first one being Sam Merrill, okay? I am going to be betting him over 5.5 points, and you can find this number right now okay, at minus 165. I'm going to lay 165 to win 1 unit. We just need him to hit 2 threes. And if you look at Outlier, the numbers, 70% of the last 10 games, he did go over this, okay? So essentially in 70% of the contests, Sam Merrill hits 2 3-pointers, okay? There was just 2 games, once against Sacramento, once against Miami, that he did get skunked. But I think Sam Merrill, if the Cavaliers want to do well, I think that, with the Garland game time decision injury that we have to look into, he does have that sprained left toe. That's something to keep in mind. But I do think that if he's out or in, it doesn't matter, quite frankly. I think Merrill gets 2 3-pointers made, and that's kind of where I'm going to look into Sam Merrill going over. I bet you it's the same price. Whatever's cheaper, right? Over 1.5 threes might be a little bit less priced, but I think that going 6 points for Sam Merrill is a very strong play in this game too, okay? The next one, Andrew Nembhard played exceedingly well, dropped 23 in that last time out. And if you look at kind of the last, you want to look at the last 5 of 6 games, okay? And I know there was some duds against Cleveland where you only had 2 and 3 points respectively, but you don't drop 23 and then come back with a 2 and 3, okay? That's not going to happen. I think that right now there's a lot of value taking Andrew Nembhard over 12.5 points at minus 109. That will be another best bet that I do give out on the channel to go alongside how I'm going to be teasing both of these spreads in this Tuesday two-game affair, okay? And that's kind of where we're going to dive into the next game, okay? And that one will be between Golden State and Minnesota. You can see right now the overwhelmingly amount of the support is on the Minnesota Timberwolves on the point spread, okay? 65% of the bets, albeit 96% of the handle. This is one where also you do see some favoritism going towards the over. I'm not going to get involved with that. I think that when we look at this game, this is a different team that we got to see than when we got to see in the regular season against Golden State. And what I mean by that, guys, is if we look into kind of the struggles that we've seen, I just don't quite frankly trust the Golden State Warriors, especially after playing a Game 7. Minnesota's rested. They're ready to roll. I think that it's going to be very hard for the Warriors to get to 100 points. And I do think that the Timberwolves are going to show out with all that rest taken into consideration. And that's something where you look into their very strong ATS record at home, 6 of their last 7 games. And that's something where you look into kind of Golden State on the road, going against the rest. That's something that's going to be very much in line with favoriting the Minnesota Timberwolves. I just don't want to lay it, right? We've seen this number creep up from 5.5 to 7, and that's something where you can see why the odds makers have shifted that number with the overwhelmingly heavy handle on the Timberwolves, okay? And that's why we saw that point movement, okay? So that's just kind of how I feel about it. Minnesota took care of business against the Lakers. They won 3 straight in all of those games, right? They won not by more than what they needed to cover that number, okay? They did cover the spread, but they were not 7-point favorites, and that's kind of where we're going to look into the point spread being the best bet that I do give out. We're going to tease it, right? We're going to take the Pacers. It'll be a 5-point teaser, taking the Pacers up to plus 14, and also we're going to take the Minnesota Timberwolves down to -2. If you want to shop around, find a better number, great. If you want to tease it a little differently, that's fine too. I just think there's no value if you just take both the money lines straight up. So I am going to tease both of these games, and you will get plus 100 in doing so. Okay, so give me the Pacers going up to 14 to go alongside the Timberwolves going down to -2. And that will be how I approach the sides in these 2 contests. Okay, so that'll pay a plus 100 price. That is kind of my best bet, the way I'm going to approach this whole Tuesday slate. That's a bet that I do like quite a bit personally, and that's why I'm giving out on the channel. So that'll go alongside the 2 props. Sam Merrill over 5.5 to go alongside the Andrew Nembhard over 12.5 points, and that will be how I approach the Tuesday slate in the association with my 3 best bets, okay? Gave out a lot of leans along the way as well. If you do want to go into some of the prop markets for the Minnesota Golden State Warriors game, a couple things that do jump off at the page of me is the health of Jimmy Butler. We saw a very strong performance by Draymond Green. Jimmy Butler's hurt. Steph looks a little off. They did face guard him exceedingly well. They took him out of the game. He was very much a facilitator in that matchup against Houston, and Golden State showed out. They picked him up. Sometimes you're going to get opponents that do handle Steph that way. He kind of broke loose in the second half a little bit, but still nothing where you look for him to cash some of the big numbers within the prop market. He's been very good good at Houston, playing on the road in that arena. But just kind of how they approached them, I think that we're going to see similar kind of defense going against Steph by the Timberwolves. A lot of good stuff on tape, and that's kind of where I would fade, potential Steph Curry. I would fade, look for some regression from Draymond Green, fading him, and I would fade Jimmy Butler as well, just because I don't trust the health. But big game Butler, whatever you want to call him, Jimmy Buckets, he does deliver in the postseason, and that's really the best thing I think that the Warriors do have going for them is that experience in the postseason. Okay. And also, if you do want to kind of look into the Anthony Edwards mindset, if you want to approach that prop market, right now you can see the rebounds, assists, and points sitting at 40.5. I think that he would go under that as well. That's just kind of how I view it, but nothing really that does give me an edge. Those are just a few that do jump off at the page at me, being a little bit too high. So those would be potential fade candidates. But the best way, like I said, that I'm going to approach this game is we're going to tease the Timberwolves and the Cavaliers, plus 14 for the Pacers and -2 for the Timberwolves, respectively, to wrap out our best bets. Okay, so that's what I got in the NBA. Appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Join us here at TBM Sports. Completely free to do so. All it does is let you know what I'm betting day in and day out here on the channel. And good luck on your picks. Enjoy the games, and we'll see you guys all tomorrow. Cheers.